Now, if you mention HDR, I think it's fair to say that most of us would probably think back to 2010 when people were doing that really over-processed, grungy kind of look. Or people tend to think that HDR is where you're blending different exposures of picture together so that you get all the detail and the shadows and the highlights. But that's not HDR. But real HDR, true HDR, just uses one image. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no expert when it comes to HDR. In fact, I know somebody who is, and that's a guy called Greg Benz, and I've got the link on screen now, and that's also in the description. But when it comes to HDR, true HDR, I do know enough to do it. I know how to edit the images and also know how to share them. And I've been asked about this quite a lot. So I thought, what the heck, let's put a video together to show how you can do it. And it's going to be done using Lightroom, and I'll be using Lightroom Mobile. Now, this might sound really strange, although I want to show you how you can edit and upload HDR images to show the world how different your pictures can look, because they really will look different. The weird thing is, when I show it to you now, you're not going to see it. And that's because the technology we have at the moment doesn't allow us to be able to record the screen showing the HDR and to be able to stream it on a platform like we are now, YouTube, for you to see it. So you've got to trust me. So what I want you to do for now, before we get into it, is go to this particular website. This is a web page that I set up that will show you whether or not your device, the screen, enables you to see HDR, if it's HDR compatible. So this is the web address. Go to it and take a look. Now, if you see one image only of each kind, that means you do not have a screen that is HDR compatible. If you see two, then that means you do have a device that is HDR compatible. So pause the video, go and have a look at that website and have a look through. And then when you find a device, be it your maybe your mobile phone, your tablet device, or if you've got like a MacBook Pro, something like that, that is the one that you're then going to use when you edit these particular kinds of images. So go and do that, check out what your devices are, and in the meantime, 17 seconds of this.
Love photography but fed up with social media? Then join us in the free photography community on School. There's an active forum, challenges, live calls, a classroom, members map, and real-world meetups. Thousands of members, no algorithms, and no ads. Use the QR code or the link in the description, and we'll see you inside.
All right, so now that you've got the screen maybe that you know that you can see HDR on, I'm going to take you through the process. But again, what you're going to see on screen as you watch me do this is going to look awful because it's not capable of streaming or showing HDR. But just trust me that the process we go through when you look at it as you do it on your screen, it will look perfect. So I'll set a screen recording. I'll show you on Lightroom Mobile. The controls are exactly the same in Lightroom Mobile, Lightroom Classic, Lightroom Desktop, and also Camera Raw. But I'll show you that every single thing that you need to know really to get up and running. I'll show you that now.
All right, so let's just start that screen recording like so. Oh, and by the way, we had to move from where we were because all of a sudden it got very, very busy. So this bit now, rather than record it on location, I'm doing it in the office. But looking at my mobile phone screen here, if I just tap to open up Lightroom Mobile, and we'll work on this particular image here, which at the moment is a standard dynamic range image, which I'm really happy with. Absolutely love it. If I just tap with two fingers to bring up the histogram, just go there. There we go. You can see perfect, great tonal range across the shadows, midtones, and highlights. Absolutely perfect. But there is more we can do with this image. This is a perfect example of an image to use HDR on because it's very contrasty, very bright scenes. This will work so good. So let's have a look. We've got the normal histogram just there. What I'm going to do is, now that I've edited this image in my standard dynamic range, I'll now turn on HDR. So you can see this HDR slider just here on the bottom left area, exactly the same slider that we'll have in Desktop and Classic. And when I turn this on, look what happens to the image. All right, so it goes much brighter, but also you'll notice that the actual histogram has changed. Let's just turn that off. Keep an eye on the histogram. This is before and after, before and after. So the histogram has changed. And what you'll notice is there are now these extra sections. And these extra sections here represent additional stops that we have available to us when we're using high dynamic range. We have much more tonal range available to us in the brighter parts of the image. Now, so it says we've got 1, 2, and then this other bit over to the right-hand side. But we can see there's like an eye with a slash through it. And that's because what's happening here is, by default, Lightroom is putting a limit on how far we can push this image. And that's a limit for a good reason. Because what you're going to find is all different devices around the world, those that are capable of HDR, some will be more capable of showing brighter parts than some of the other screens. So what Lightroom have done is what Adobe have done is they've kind of said, look, you don't want to push it all the way because some people out there, if you share this image, might not see it how you want to see it. So you want to kind of rein it back a little bit. So they've set something called the HDR limit, and that is just over 2 additional stops. So let me just show you this on the screen here, look. So you can see in the histogram, we've got 2 main sections, then a narrower section just here. So it's 2.3 stops of the saying is the average, or the sort of the limit to go to. If I scroll down on the screen here, and you'll find this in Classic and Desktop, you can see here, look here, it says HDR limit 2.3. So I can actually take this, and if I want to, I can increase it. So now you can see we've got 4 sections available to us, potentially 4 sections. But obviously, just because you have that available to you doesn't mean to say that you would edit it. You still want to control how much, the brightness values are and the shadows and the midtone to give the look, the feel that you want. So I will rein that back. I'm going to take that back to how it should be, 2.3, because I am going to share this online. But let me just scroll up a little bit. So you can see now, look, I've got the exposure slider here. If I push it over to the right to increase the brightness, you'll see it'll get to a certain point and then it'll peak up, look. So it can't go beyond that point. That there is where it's hitting that limit of 2.3 stops. So I'm just going to rein it back just a little bit to maybe around about there. But already a huge difference. But bearing in mind, like I said, when I'm looking at the screen here, the picture looks fantastic. What you're seeing, because we're not capable yet of me recording it on my phone screen and then put it on YouTube for you to see, the technology is just not there for us, which is why I said for you to get a device so that you can do this, and then you'll see for yourselves the difference that it makes. You just have to trust me with this one just here. Now, as well as having that 2.3 there, we can also check visually on the exposure of this HDR image. And it's similar to how we can check the exposure in a normal standard dynamic range image in Lightroom. Certainly on the mobile side of things here, all I would do now that I'm in HDR, if I hold my finger down on the screen and then use the exposure slider, like so, you'll see we'll get these yellow areas. That's telling me that is perfectly fine. That's within the tonal range, the sort of 2.3 there of the HDR. But you can see if I go too far, you'll start to see these red areas starting to come into it, which means it's gone too far. So I'm going to back that off just a little bit to around about there will be fine, and then let go. So that's one way that we can check how our exposure is going to be on our HDR image. Another way, if I scroll down just a little bit, is just here where we've got this visualize HDR. Now, look what happens to the histogram when I turn on this visualize HDR. You'll see that under each of those sections, there's a color. So this is going to be really useful if you are somebody who is working on a standard dynamic range display, not capable of showing HDR. You could use this to visualize what the HDR is going to look like. And you'll see that under each section got these colors. So we know that the cyan, that's completely safe. The blue, completely safe. But then you've got this kind of like purple color. We know we've got like a little bit of that we can use. So we don't want to push it too far. I can see just a little bit on this screen just here. But if I move this exposure slide, let's go to the exposure slide just here, drag it across to the right, you'll see as I drag it to the right, more of that purple starting to come in, which tells me that it's basically not going to be viewable. And you can see that in histogram anyway, because it's peaking up. But let's just bring that back just a little bit to around about, say, there will be fine. So we can check the exposure by holding one finger down and using that exposure. If you're doing this on your computer that is capable of showing HDR, you can do the same thing there by holding down the Alt key or Option key. So Alt key on Windows, Option key on Mac, and then using the exposure slider, you'll see that yellow and red thing as well, which will help you to visualize how the exposure is going. But another thing we can do, if I just scroll down, let's turn off that Visualize HDR. If you were going to upload this, let's say, onto the internet, most browsers nowadays are capable of HDR. It's the screens that either are or aren't capable of showing HDR. But if you upload it onto the internet and somebody looks at that image on a screen that isn't HDR, you want to kind of be reassured that what they're going to see is still going to be looking good. So what you can potentially do here is turn on this preview for SDR, preview for standard dynamic range. And then you can literally just then tap on where it says SDR settings, and you can adjust these settings here to make the view that they're going to see. You can tweak it so that you're confident that what they see is going to be a good representation of the image that they're not seeing in HDR, but they're seeing in SDR, if that makes sense. But that's not something that I like to do. What I prefer to do, because most of the times I'm just sharing these images on Instagram, what I prefer to do is to upload 2 versions of it. So on Instagram, I'll upload 2 versions. So talking about uploading now, then let's just talk about how we export the images from Lightroom. Maybe, if we're doing it on a computer, how do we export them for then later uploading? And on the mobile phone, how do we do it? Well, let me just show you. We've got this share icon in the upper right. I'll tap on that. And then we've got this save copy to device. Now I'm going to tap on the gear icon just to the right-hand side just here. And you'll see we've got all these options available to us where it says file type. Now, ordinarily, when I'm exporting an image that isn't HDR, it could say something like JPEG, TIFF, PNG. But by default, it's jumped to this AVIF format. We could also choose JXL, but I'll stick to the AVIF. So that's the first thing. Then I'm going to go to where it says more options, and I need to just check that the color space is going to be set to display P3. That's fine. That'll work with this. And HDR output is turned on. That's all I need to do to make sure that those settings are in. Also, actually, with the color space, if you chose to use the display P3 color space, if you're uploading a HDR, in Lightroom, what you might find, if you're looking at Classic and Desktop, you might find it labeled slightly different. It might say something like HDR P3. But that's all good. Let's come out of here. And then I would simply just click on Save Copy to Device. That then puts it onto my camera roll in my phone, and then I can upload it into Instagram. So a real simple process there. Now, just a couple of things about uploading it to Instagram. When you do, obviously we have the choice then of when you put a picture into a post or into a reel, you can add music, you can add text to images, you can add stickers and all that kind of stuff if you're that way inclined. But don't. You can add music, yes, but don't add anything that's going to go onto the image, like a sticker or text or whatever, because what I found is it really just completely throws everything off and it looks awful. So don't do that. But what I tend to do is just upload a standard dynamic range image and a HDR image, because then when people view it online, they've got the choice then of swiping between the two. And I think when you see the two of them side by side, it's really impactful. People realize, wow, that is such a difference in there. So that's what I would suggest you do there. I do have examples of, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that we do have at the top there, I've pinned a few posts where there are some HDR images that you can check. But obviously as well, you've got that website, which I said for you to check out.
Alrighty, so that's the process then to take you through everything that you need to know to be able to process HDR images and also to share them online on places like Instagram. Now, yes, the technology is limited, but as days go by, more and more devices and screens are able to display HDR. So although it is limited, I think for us as creatives, as photographers, it's definitely a technology that I think we need to be aware of to kind of get ahead of the curve, so that when more devices are able to show this and it becomes much more mainstream, we kind of know all about it. You know, we've got to know what we need to do so that when it is available, we know, we can share all our stuff and make the most of all this technology. But just be warned that those SDR, those standard dynamic range images that we just see day to day, that we edit and we print, which look great, when you then see them in HDR, you're going to be spoiled. They're going to be like, they're almost going to look flat. It can spoil you, all right? But anyway, there you go. Have a bit of fun with it. Post in the comments if you give it a go. I'll catch you in the next video. Maybe blending different exposures of pictures together. Do that again, because different exposures of pictures together. No? I'm no expert when it comes to HDR. I can definitely recommend someone. Now, the weird thing about doing a video all about showing you how to do HDR with your phones is, no, not phones, no, hold on. Yeah, come in here. Come in here. And take a pew on my log, like 2 Kermits. Right, that's Steve. Steve the cameraman.